Adam, you've had a chance to look back over last Sunday's game. Just what are your thoughts now that you've had a chance to review it?
Yeah, really good. Like you say, we've had a good sort of look at the game, watched it back. I think it confirmed a lot of stuff that we felt on the day. We were really strong first half against probably the best team in the league, or one of the two best teams in the league. So yeah, really good performance first half. We executed our game plan really well. The girls carried out their individual roles and responsibilities really well, and we took our chances on the counter, which is really important. So massive credit first half. Second half, Peterborough came out fighting. Really high quality team with good players and good staff. So they'll have had some good information at half time and looked to change the game. And I think when a couple of the decisions that were out of our hands went against us, I think that changed the momentum of the game and ultimately, cost us the 3 points. But we've definitely reviewed it. There'll be some stuff we could have tidied up on. A couple of the goals that we shouldn't have conceded regardless of how they came about. So, something for us to work on and put right, which we're always doing, always learning and working. So, but overall really positive. We're pleased with the performance application of the team and just really pleased that we've competed with one of the top teams. And then ultimately now for the players, they've again shown they've set that standard really high and sort of set that bar for themselves now, and anything less than that's, not going to be acceptable. So that's a really good place to be, that we've set such a good performance out. Didn't get the result we wanted, but we've shown we can be competitive and carry out high quality actions in the game against top opposition.
And sticking with the theme of reflecting, having an FA Cup game coming up feels like a nice pause to look back at what has been the first 6-7 league games of the season, where you've almost matched last season's point tally already. Can you just give me your thoughts on what is the first part of the season?
Yeah, we've had a really good start to the season. We've been really pleased. I think, ultimately every season we've been here since we re-established the club back in 2018, we've set ourselves a target of improving on the previous season's performance, and every year up until date we've done that. We've finished in a higher position than the season before. Obviously there's a long way to go this season and a lot of points to fight for, but it's been a really bright start. That doesn't mean we can take anything for granted. We've got to, as I've just mentioned, keep those levels really high to make sure that we're maximising our points return across the rest of the games this season. But yeah, we're really pleased as a staff. I think when we had such a large number of players coming in, probably the largest recruitment we've had at the club in terms of new bodies through the door since when we started, it's always going to take time for players to gel and for relationships to build. And I know I've mentioned it a couple of times in pre-season that we felt the players clicked quite early in terms of the social side. They got on really well early, and we've got a really good, nice bunch of girls to work with, so that helps. And then I think you've seen through the performances over the recent weeks that we sort of won ugly a couple of times at the start of the season where we were still finding out about ourselves, and now we're in a position where we're winning games or competing in games and having really positive performances right across the board. So really good progress, really pleased with the start of the season. Loads of good things to talk about and lots of stuff that we can improve on still for the rest of the season as well.
And it's an FA Cup trip to Crewe, a team that you probably wouldn't know too much about. So how do you go about preparing for an FA Cup game?
Firstly, delighted to be in the FA Cup every season. It's a really special competition, and it's always a privilege to be representing the FA Cup at whatever round that is. So we're really excited for the challenge. Correct, we don't know a huge amount about Crewe. They're in a division where we don't really know any staff, not much sort of footage and stuff floating about. So I guess it gives us two sides of the coin. On the one hand, we just have to prepare ourselves in the best way and make sure we've got everything right our side, and not worry too much about over preparing for an opposition, but just making sure we're doing our stuff correctly. Obviously Crewe, like I say, not seeing much of them at all. Don't know much about many of the oppositions in that division, so hard to judge where they're at as a team, but it's FA Cup, so they'll be really up for the game. I'm sure they'll have a good setup and good staff that want to do well in the FA Cup, and we've been on the other side of results of losing to teams in lower divisions in the past. So, we've got to make sure we're not taking anything for granted. We go with the right attitude and application, make sure the players are all performing to the best of their abilities to make sure that we progress to the next round of the competition, which is what we want to do.
And you've touched on it a little bit, but how important is it that after last weekend you do keep those standards so high?
Yeah, it's really important. I think that is now about consistency for us. We've had a couple of defeats this season that we we weren't fans of as players and as staff, and I think we're always learning and looking to put stuff right. So we want to make sure we keep momentum. Results are really, really important, and performances are just as important. And if we can keep performing to the standards and levels that we have been in recent weeks, we'll be in a really good position to do something good this season in terms of our league position and also in terms of cup competitions. So yeah, really important. Standards are high, important that players embrace the challenge and are ready to go into Sunday with that hungry mindset that they want to progress in the competition.